Hello everyone, I cordially welcome you all to another video from the React tutorial series, and in this video we are going to discuss on the useRef hook in React. So without any delay, let's get started. If you have read about the hooks which have been discussed till now, you will see one common pattern. Almost all the hooks are used for performance improvement or feature improvement. But what if we have to store some value between successive renders or manipulate a DOM element? Nothing to worry. The useRef hook comes to the rescue. The useRef hook enables the developers to reference a value that is not needed for rendering. That is, it allows the developers to write code in such a way that values referenced by useRef are retained between renders. Besides this, there is one more beneficial feature associated with this hook. Unlike useState, it doesn't trigger rendering when data referenced by it is updated. Like the other hooks we have studied, we use the useRef hook at the top level of our component. Firstly, we have to import the useRef hook from React and then we can utilize it. The syntax for creating a ref is as follows. Const count equal to useRef0. The useRef hook accepts the initial value of the ref and sets it to the current property of the ref's object. We can directly read or modify it when needed. If the ref is used as an attribute to any JSX or TSX code, React automatically sets its current property with the object. So let me dilute this information for you. What happens in React, there is one more special type of hook which is known as useRef. The useRef hook is basically used to reference any DOM element. Not only we can reference DOM element, but useRef hook is used to retain any value between successive renders. Okay? If you have watched our previous videos, you know we have a hook known as useState, basically in which we can assign some value using its updater method. But remember, whenever value assigned to the local state variable using useState hook, what happens anytime the value changes, a re-rendering triggers. It might so happen you might want to persist some value even if rendering takes place. In that case, you can make use of this useRef hook. What happens whenever you use useRef hook? It accepts one argument that will be set as the default value of the current property of the ref's object. So here our count is basically the ref object in which there will be a property current in which the value 0 will be set. Okay. Not only you can set any value, but you can set any type of variable as per your requirement. So we have done enough of theory now. Let's go to the code and understand by an example. Welcome to VS Code. Here we are going to now see how we can implement the useRef hook in React. Firstly, we have to import the useRef hook from React. We are also making use of the other hooks as well. So if the concept of useState or useEffect hook is not clear with you, I would cordially request you to watch the previous videos where we have done a detailed discussion on this type of hooks. Okay. Thereafter, we have a variable status and a method setStatus to update the state variable. Both of these are provided by the useState hook and the initial value of the status will be online. Thereafter, we have created a ref object count using this useRef hook and the initial value of count.current will be 0. Okay. Finally, within our useEffect hook, we are saying count.current equal to count.current plus 1. And here we don't have any dependency array. So if you remember in the useEffect hook video, I told whenever you don't pass any dependency array, the code written within this useEffect hook will run in case of any rendering takes place, irrespective whether it has any dependency or not. Okay. Finally, we have a function toggle status, which basically checks what is the current status. If the current status is online, it toggles the state value to offline. Or if the current status is not online, it will make it online. Basically what it does, whenever this function is triggered, it basically keeps on toggling the value of the status variable from online to offline and vice versa. Finally, within our return, we return our JSX code. Here we have shown the user is and the status. Basically, if the user is online or offline. Sometimes you see such kind of things in social media application. Okay. Thereafter, we have a rendering count. Basically, we are counting how many times our component has been rendered. What will happen as this status has been returned by this useState hook, whenever the value of this status will change, it will re-render the component, and using that only we will count how many times the component has been re-rendered. Finally, we have a button toggle status, on clicking which the toggle status function is called, and thus we can change the value of the status variable from online to offline and vice versa. So if everything works fine, what should happen on the browser? Whenever we will click on this button, the status will change and the value rendering count, that is count.current, should be increased by 1 for every rendering. Okay, let's run our application and check if we are correct. So we will go to the terminal and write npm start to run our React application. Let's wait for some time until our application starts. As you can see, our application has started, and by default the user is online. So it should be, because the default argument which we pass to useState is online. Okay. Now you will see whenever we will click on this button toggle status, this will be offline and the value will increase by 1. See, the status became offline and rendering count is 1. If I again click on it, offline will become online and rendering count will become 2. So no matter how many times you click it, you will notice your component will re-render, the value of the status will toggle, and the rendering count value will keep on increasing by 1. Basically, this count.current is counting how many times our component has been re-rendered. Okay. Here is one small tip which you might find as a problem. When you create a React application, okay, and you have created this example in your local for understanding useRef hook, remember within this index.tsx file, comment out this react.strict mode. Okay, what will happen here? If you don't comment out the react.strict mode, you will find an issue. Let me explain you what is the issue. If the strict mode is enabled in the React application, what will happen? When you will click for the first time, the count value will increase by 2. Just see what happens. Okay, thereafter it will increment by 1. So what happens basically, if you use the strict mode, what will happen with the initial render? It will force another render. That shouldn't be the case. So now if I comment it out, you will see the problem will be gone. So now for the first click, the value is increasing by 1. Basically what happens, this strict mode is helpful during the coding session or during the development session of the application. So I hope the concept of this useRef hook is clear with you. You can also consider watching another previous video where I have talked about refs in React using the class components. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. I hope you found this video informative. In case you like it, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are going to bring more videos in the future. For any queries, doubts, suggestions or feedbacks, feel free to post them in the comment section. We are going to reply. So thank you for now. See you in the next video. Bye.